Old World, Florida.
Old World, Florida.
Old World, Florida. Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Dr. Narco Longo came on and dropped the hammer of the god.
America's mother, daughter of Atlantis. God sent the weatherland, the devil sent the Spanish. Florida is Eden, the phantom of youth, Kalia's deception. So Florida is the truth.
Welcome to Florida, baby.
Dr. Narco Longo.
Florida, it is everything. There's too much truth bombs being dropped. I can't digest it all.
Old World, Florida.
I'm the wrong guy.
Please welcome Dr. Narco Longo.
All right, quiet on set. Shh. What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Hope we're chilling. Just pouring up some of that liquid sunshine, a little bit of that sticky icky. Who knows? Because we're gonna get lit, guys, and we've got a piping hot show with our resident expert on the hip hop hypnosis. Luckily. And you see a lot of this in the news recently. You know, for decades they've been pushing the hip hop agenda. And, you know, you've got your recent explosion of like the SoundCloud scene and all the stuff coming out of Florida. Well, there's kind of an unspoken truth to hip hop is that Florida really is like the cultural nerve center of American hip hop. And that has an ancient origin to it. And so we're going to be exploring that. We're going to get into a lot of interesting stuff, like some of these rappers being potentially descended from Native Americans and how some of the Native American culture of Florida in particular may have fostered rap culture, gangster rap culture, and all that. But yeah, uncharted territory here for sure, guys. But Al Dog, how we doing tonight?
Dr. Narco Longo, I could not be any more excited to be here tonight. We've been buddies for over a year now, and it's taken until the last week for us to sort of synthesize both of our research. Me personally, I consider myself like a hip hop anthropologist. I've been studying this music, this tribalistic warfare music from the inside out because it's a personal obsession of mine. And you got the right guy on your show because when it comes to Florida rappers, guys like XXX Tentacion, I got 15,000 words written on the guy on my Substack. Young Thug, 25,000 words written. Dude, I wrote a book, the fucking Sharter, A Millennial Journey Out of Hip Hop Hypnosis. What we're getting into tonight, Dr. Narco Longo, is unprecedented because when people connect the dots and understand what we're laying down here, Dr. Narco Longo is going to provide the background with a specific tribe. Then I'm going to give sort of the modern day examples of what has been happening in the rap world, both from mainly from the tribalistic warfare music standpoint, because that's what it is. These percussion instruments tap within one's instincts for war. And as we're going to see, some tribes, some specific ancient Floridian tribes around the American Southeast are quite accustomed to some of these things we're seeing today.
Yeah, for real, bingo. And I've said it every time I'm on. I forgot to say it this time. Of all shows, Outdog is the author of The Sharter, a millennial journey out of hip hop hypnosis. Okay, that's available at the Dancing Elephant Bookstore. You can find him on Instagram, Twitter, and here, of course. But he really is the expert when it comes to the mass hip hop deception, the agenda behind it. And you've seen in the last couple months, especially, the stream waking up to this, or at least admitting it, disclosing it to the people. Slow, soft disclosure. Hey, by the way, America, you've been listening to the, audio equivalent of McDonald's plus with side orchestrated from the get-go. Push button, shocking to everybody, but isn't that right?
Yeah, that is right. You're a little choppy right now. I think if you take the book off, let's see how you're doing. I think you're currently frozen. If you want to, now you're better. Can the audience hear Dr. Narco Longo?
Yeah, I think we're
Okay,
okay
they can
right
hear
now.
you. It's just a little choppy, the video, but I think it'll get better as we progress. It's better now, but yeah, as you were saying, dude, millions of people are snapping out of hip hop hypnosis. It's one thing to, um, you know, point out all the connections between intelligence and this agenda and that agenda. One of the best things to do to get out of that state of hip hop hypnosis is to laugh at it and realize how ridiculous this all is. But at the same time, I couldn't have done all this research unless I was fascinated by the tribal warfare, but also recognizing the fact that music is extremely powerful. It's been very powerful the last 100 years. Some say that music has the power to heal. And I would say that music is the most powerful magic in the entire realm. And for that reason, it's been used probably for the last century, for better or for worse. And when we look at somebody like Kodak Black, for example, I can't deny the fact that Kodak Black is Florida soul music. It is. Would you agree with that?
The Floridian is a soft spot for him, a sweet spot, and he is pretty block and more uplifting. But yeah,
I think what happens, Longo, is whenever you pull up pictures, it actually slows you down. When there's not a picture pulled up, you're totally fine. Like right now, you're fine.
whatever. I'm on a farm, guys,
Yeah.
so literally blow me. I don't care. Quit complaining. I'm
Yeah.
on a farm.
Yeah. It's me complaining just because I'm just pointing it out. But yeah, I can pull up the pictures too. If like, because if I pull up the pictures, it won't lag you. Whenever you don't pull up pictures, you're like right now, you're totally fine.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah. Sick.
Just sent you
So
the
what were
folder.
Yeah, then I can just pull it up. All I have to do is press present and then fucking because and you can just be like,
People are
hey,
saying if we just present, once we start showing pictures, I'll just turn my camera off. Be less
okay,
bandwidth, maybe.
yeah, we can try that. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
So
we'll see. Whatever. It's okay for now, but I think
yeah,
your hypothesis is correct. But whatever. I sent you a file.
okay. And did you send it
Sent
via
you the
text
file
message or did
in
you send it?
case you have to. Yeah, iMessage.
Okay.
That's all right. If everyone can hear me okay for now,
Yeah.
we're gonna tell you about them Kangs, people. Okay, we're
Yeah.
talking about the days of true American Kangs. What you got here is, like I said, an ancient link. There is a precedent, an American precedent for gangster rap music. It's not a African, invention. It's not an African addition to American culture. It is uniquely American, and particularly the warfare aspect of it and the ganging and stuff. So here we go. Are we still glitching? Show me some
Everybody can
thumbs
hear you
up.
fine. You sound fine, and I think that's what matters. However, I am yet to receive your iMessage with the folder. If you have it on your computer, you can just send it in the chat.
Okay.
But the farm looks pretty cool, man. Seems like a cool place.
Yeah, I'm streaming off my hotspot on my phone. So we got to make do.
We're gonna make it happen, dude.
And
So, can you give us a background on perhaps some Florida tribes that we're gonna make the connection with here?
right, so yeah, we're chiefly going to be focusing on the Timucua of Central Florida to North Florida, who were unique for some of their traditions, practices, wardrobe, jewelry, metallurgy. And there's some definite links here between the gang warfare and then making music after a victory that we're going to look into here. But what you've also got is probably a direct genetic lineage. I've had a black guy on my channel, Orisha Stone, not Nabi, from Orisha Stone. He's a, black gentleman from up North Florida or near North Florida. And he claims direct Timucuan ancestry. You don't see any Asian looking Native Americans claiming direct Timucuan ancestry. They tell us that they're extinct. So this is a tribe that's entirely extinct, we're told. And only a small part of their blood would have lived on in certain peoples. Now, I want to show you what the Europeans were depicting the Timucua as looking like. And we're going to see why we are going over this. Now, if I present, it might lag me out, so I'm going to turn off my camera. But this is a Timucua Indian that we're looking at here, guys.
Wow. And he
Okay,
he dresses like a rapper with that big shiny medallion.
Yes, exactly. It's not just a look, it is the bling. Native Americans did not bling themselves out, not the Mongoloid Asiatic Native Americans. You have the Timucua of Florida, however, not only being depicted like so-called African Americans, but dressing, blinging themselves out in the same style. Now, I've shown this presentation on dozens of live streams, sometimes with, white guests, sometimes black guests. And whenever this comes up, everyone has always said, that looks like Kodak Black. There's pictures, there's other angles, but when you see him, everyone says, that looks like, this rapper or that rapper. Usually Kodak, because of the way he's smiling and he's got kind of a wider face. But everyone has remarked on it whenever I show this in presentations. So it's good that we're finally addressing it in a rapper context. But this is a Timucua chief from North Florida being depicted by the royal goldsmith of a part of Germany. Royal German goldsmith, Balthasar Permoser, I believe the guy's name was, who made this, and a couple other guys. But they made like a series of these And this wasn't an uncommon style of sculpture. It was called a blackamoor, right? But blackamoors were not always said to be Native Americans. This one is a Native American. This one is explicitly said to depict a Timucua chief from Florida, who the French encountered around 1562, who the Spanish encountered around 1560, 264, around there. And when they found them, they were doing some strange stuff. So yeah, this would be classified as a blackamoor statue, and the word "moor" is, officially, academically used for North Africa, but you'll see a big community of people who apply that term to Florida, Native Americans, even just dark-skinned people anywhere in the world. Now, again, that's not my, expertise, but when you see stuff like this, and then you hear other depictions about their skin being black and black giants from Florida, you have your stories of white giants too. Don't get me, don't get me wrong here. You can go, I've got plenty of videos talking about hidden European history of America, hidden, Viking history of America, Irish history. But right now we're talking about rap, so I don't want anyone getting triggered over the We Was King stuff. But yes, you'd be right for thinking that his teeth are gold too. His teeth are at least depicted with gold, so they're fashioned from gold. Now, are they saying that he had gold teeth? I'm not sure. We know that they probably ornamented their teeth a little bit. They tattooed their lips, they tattooed their faces. Here's another big link. Already dark-skinned, but tattooing their faces. Now that's a big rapper thing. In Florida,
Wait, he has
rappers,
face tats as well?
he has tattoos. It's hard to tell. He's decked
Yep.
out with tattoos. But
Wow.
other pictures of Timucua, you'll see they were tattooed, and their faces were tattooed too. So the Timucua tattooed their whole body and their faces, the men especially. The women had tattooed faces a lot of the time. Here's another, maybe like a reproduction of the Moor with the emerald cluster, I believe. Just more up close. But yeah, that's the Moor with the emerald cluster, made by a German royal goldsmith, depicting the natives of Florida from around the 1500s. And I think this was made around 1800, 1850, around there. They might not know for sure. But he's covered in tattoos. He's blinged out. He's got his cufflets, armlets, a choker. And we'll go look at his legs.
One look at that guy, and he's got a mixtape.
Yeah. He's got a crib full of snow bunnies in Hollywood, Florida, this guy. So this is who we're talking about, the Timucua. This is one of the biggest tribes, if not empires, in Florida that we can link directly to rap culture. And how else can we do that? Well, this is what they were depicted as. But then let's look at, and let's just do some side by side real quick so people see. And the thumbnail kind of indicates this, but there's a native Floridian from 500 years ago, or at least how they're depicted. And then here's a native Floridian from 5 years ago, if not less. I mean, it's uncanny. The bling, the wide smile, big wide smile. It's the same facial features. Denzel Curry. These are all Florida rappers. Kodak Black. The bling, it's uncanny. Kodak Black.
The facial features of that statue with Kodak are off the
Yeah.
charts.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
And there's a few more too, specifically Florida rappers that have the same physiognomy, the same look and
Yes.
phenotype.
Yes. So you guys saw a few there for the comparison. We're gonna get into that a lot deeper, but I
That guy
wanna
too, big time.
I
I would
wanna
argue that Julio Fulio, that guy right there, almost looks more like the statue than Kodak. He's from
wow,
Jacksonville.
wow. And that's Timucua territory. Literally.
Yep.
That is Timucua territory. Jacksonville is where the Timucua lived. There's memorials to this day. There's Indian mounds that you can go see all up and down from St. Augustine to Jekyll Island, and you betcha, Jacksonville. So now we're not saying these are direct relations. We're not saying this is conclusive proof, but we're gonna bolster this by reading another one here. And now remember, same territory, Jacksonville, Timucua, and then rappers like this coming out of Central Florida and South Florida. But I'm going to show you where the actual link comes from. It's not just, oh, these guys look like those guys and they happen to live in the same place. And the one group and the Timucua, who are supposedly extinct, and then the blacks, who many of them claim they're not slaves. Many of them are convinced. There's a lot of evidence to show for that. You don't have to be a, Black Lives Matter, Nation of Islam loser to think that this is true, that blacks could have been in America well before Columbus. So, like I said, not my expertise, not what I'm passionate about, but I'm passionate about Florida history. So now I want to link this to you guys. It's not just the similarity. It's not just the location of some of these rappers being straight out of Timucua territory. And it's not just the fact that the one group's extinct and then the other group claims they're not actually slaves from somewhere else, implying they may have been here the entire time. Well, it's not just those links. What we're looking at here is an engraving from a series of engravings. And this was made by Theodore de Bry, but it was a reproduction of firsthand account, firsthand direct, witness, watercoloring. This painter who was on the French expeditions made paintings. And then after making those paintings, they get lost. They had to get reproduced, and these are the reproductions, but nonetheless, they're captioned. And when we read the captions, I think they're in Dutch or German right there. I'm going to go to the website real quick.
Yeah. One other, would Timucua's territory extend to Louisiana and at least parts of Georgia?
So, parts of Georgia, yes. Parts of
Okay.
Georgia, 100%. South Georgia was Timucua territory. However,
Okay.
you've also got the Karankawa, who stretched across the Gulf Coast of Texas, South Texas. They are said to have had a similar language, closely related to the Arakawa. Wait, what was it called? Arawak language. And the Arawak is Caribbean, like Bahamas, and so they were thinking the Timucua language is from the Arawak or Taino, and then they said the same thing about the Karankawa, who were Texas. Now, another link between those is that those are the two tribal territories of NASA. NASA in
Wow.
Florida is in Timucua territory, and then NASA in Texas is in Timucua territory. They actually call that the Space Coast from Melbourne up to Jekyll Island.
So it's a very
But,
magical territory.
Yeah. So here's a ceremony going down. This is a Timucua ceremony. And one second, I need to pull something here. Okay, boom. Gonna switch screens
Yep.
and okay, this is where we want to be. Boom. We're at the Florida State Archives, and we're looking at trophies and ceremonies after a victory. This is one of the engravings of the Timucua done by Theodore de Bry. And this was originally a first-hand, depiction. But this is just a reproduction engraved in wood or something like that. So we see here what they're up to. They're having a ceremony. You see they're tall. Number one, look how flippin' tall the Timucua chief is on the left there. He's depicted about 7-8 feet tall, it almost seems like. This French guy's, maybe 5.5 feet, might be 6 feet, maybe. But that's a 7-foot tall Indian right there. And their bones reflect that. I have bones that show clear, their size is extraordinary. And FSU, also Timucua territory, the Windover Bog site, the bones taken from there were huge, huge, completely supporting this depiction. We went to the Jekyll Island Museum, and the ladies working there, one of them, the so-called expert, said no tall Indians ever lived here. No, the natives were never tall. No, they were all below your height, me, like, short. And I said, there's no way. How can you say that when we have video of bone, femurs 22, 23, 24 inches long that would fit with a 8-foot tall man? You can see them. There's men at FSU who handle them and show them in videos. I've showed those videos. So conclusive proof that tall Indians did exist in Florida, not just freak giants, but whatever. So that's what we're looking at. The Timucua were tall. They're depicted like that by the French and the Spanish and other natives who were nearby. And what are we seeing here? We're seeing a celebration after a victory, a war, after a battle, a war scene, and they're celebrating. Now I want to show you what they're doing, and then we're going to read the caption here together. Well, what you're seeing on the left is the chief explaining to the Timucua the chief explaining to the French what's happening. On the right, you're seeing a ceremony or like a little concert. And either the shaman or one of the warriors is doing a presentation in which he's literally freestyle rapping, not singing, not a choir, no plucked or melodic instruments, just a beat and a freestyle after a drive-by with your boys. Literally. And let's look at what the caption says. Trophies and ceremonies after victory. And if you read, German from 500 years ago or whatever, you could read that probably. But we're gonna read the translation down here. Trophies and ceremonies after victory. On their return home from a military expedition, they reunite in a place selected for that purpose. There they pile up the arms and legs and the scalps of their enemies with solemn ceremony on rows of tall poles. Hey, Aaron. Shh. Hey. One sec.
Is that a cat or something? Anyways, the first thing that comes to mind, okay, when we think about these native tribal people of America, right, is the fact that rap music had a shift in 2012. I'm going to shift forward a little bit while Longo, are you back?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I was just going to mention, it's so funny how we're talking about these tribes. And when drill music really, really came onto the scene, it was Chief Keef in 2012 who
Yes.
really brought this sort of tribalistic war music back to the forefront.
Yes, 100%. And also, they call Chicago Chirac.
Chirac, yeah.
You know, do you know what they call Tour around Jacksonville. Iraqana, Iraqana, whatever. That's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that with some of
So
the
you're saying the
Fertile
ancient
Crescent
Indians,
theories.
they called what they call Chirac? They had called it Chiraca? Because I missed that. You got a little fuzzy.
No, they called North Florida Iraqana,
Whoa.
Iraqana.
Huh.
Yeah, so that fits in with some of my like Phoenician. Um, also my connection might be dropping out here, so I'll speed up here. Basically, they're having their ritual. They pile up, the weapons and the trophies, the scalps, the goods, the loot that they just, they just ran up on some beep and caught them slacking, and then made their way back to the village, and they're celebrating. They're like, "Yeah, man, look at all my shit. Look at all that shit, boy."
It's also kind of pirate-like. If you look at modern hip hop culture, you think about Lil Wayne. He looks like a pirate, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like Captain Jack is like just trying to
Mhm.
be Jack Sparrow is just trying to be a Florida rapper, seems like.
Right.
He's the riffraff of you know, riffraff of of colonial America. Jack Sparrow. But so here, we'll keep reading this. Tall poles set in the ground, they hang up their trophies. Okay. The men and the women sit in a circle around the sorcerer, who, clutching a small image, like a small little human. But what I was thinking is, if we look at this, it's almost like a microphone. He's holding this little, like, child effigy when he makes his speech or his incantation. But whatever, we'll get into that. So the sorcerer, clutching a small image, mutters 1,000 imprecations, cursing the enemy. So this is not just a couple words. This is like, verses and verses, like cursing the enemy, like, man, we cleaned up, you fools. And just boasting, it seems like. So mutters 1,000 imprecations, cursing the enemy. Over on the far side, 3 men are kneeling. One of them, holding a club in both hands, strikes a flat stone, as if in time to the words of the sorcerer. On his left and on his right, 2 other men are seated. They hold in their hands the fruit of a certain plant, which grows like a gourd or melon. This fruit has been pierced at both ends, hollowed out and dried. The Indians fill this container with small stones or seeds. They attach a stick handle and shake it to make a noise like handbells. It's like a maraca, is what they're saying. They didn't have,
Yep.
the word maraca like 300 years ago or whatever. So they make a little maraca to make a noise like handbells. All this is accompanied by chanting in a national manner. These ceremonies are celebrated each time they take prisoners. Wow.
It
Sounds
sounds like a
like
diss track. It's just a classic diss track, isn't it?
it's like I think Chief Keef and the boys would have been doing almost the exact same thing. Like you
Yeah, well, they
just
do the exact same thing. It's the
yeah.
exact same behavior.
Well, they
Um,
successfully raid the enemy,
yeah.
and then make off with some money, make off with some drugs, some guns,
Mhm.
someone's chain, right? Like rip their chain like a trophy, something
Emasculating,
like that,
yes.
and then go back to the clubhouse, go back to the hideout, put it all their trophies out on the table, maybe put all their guns down, and then just celebrate and literally throw a beat on and literally like reminisce, like we pulled up and lit up the BMW, and then like that's a song, and then they get incriminated. They might even get incriminated on that song
Yes.
afterwards. This is
Dude,
exactly what happens in Florida and Chicago.
Florida and Chicago. those are the hotbeds, specifically Jacksonville and Chicago. I think what you described, it immediately reminded me of a recent hit that occurred on a rapper named FBG Duck out of Chicago, where King Von, we could talk about King Von for days. King Von was like a serial killer, but King Von was killed by Little Tim after he beat up Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo from Savannah, Georgia, looks fucking Timucuan as shit. Like I sent you a little thing in the thing to pull up Quando Rondo if you want to, but he looks exactly like the statue as well. So basically what happened is exactly what you're describing. 5 guys from O Block literally rode up to the main strip in Chicago.
Is
where
this
they
him?
got no, that's Julio Fulio. I sent it to you in the chat, Quando Rondo. It's literally like
I've got him somewhere in here.
yeah, it's somewhere in there. I think it's to the left if I were to guess. But anyways, what you described is exactly what happened. These guys rode from their hood all the way to like the main shopping district. That's not him. Like the main shopping district of Chicago, and they shot this guy, and they celebrated after. This guy Muwap made a song after, and guess what? Muwap got found guilty, and now he's going to jail for life. Like this isn't like a long-term thinking tribe, as I can see.
Yeah, and we should also note, people, that Timucua was a language group, and that many different, almost like races or families, different tribes in different parts of the state spoke the Timucua language and had they weren't all the same. Like there was Timucua in Tampa Bay, there was Timucua in Jekyll Island, and to say they were identical is, hasty, but 100%. And then some of these guys' names too, some of these chiefs, they're all like Greco-Roman deities, a lot of them. Saturiwa, Saturn. Hathor, Egyptian god, or Thor. And then you've got Saturiwa, Otina too, Utina, Odin. So Odin, Thor, Saturn, all these chiefs had names like that. They were very eloquent too in their speech, so they were able to give long orations too. Maybe think like a Coach Sanders, or sorry, Deion Sanders type inspiration, athletic inspiration, ability for that to get people hyped is what I'm saying. And yeah, I'm gonna pull up Quando Rondo right now.
Okay.
Didn't get him in.
Yeah, just because I saw this dude and he looked exactly like the statue. Because like those guys up here, the bees, they look different in the American Southeast, distinctly different. And
Here he is. That's him, right? That's him. Oh, you can't see that. Here.
Yeah, that's him. He's a pretty Timucuan looking dude, in my opinion.
Quando Rondo.
Yeah. Sucks. Talentless.
Really?
Yeah, but it's interesting because he he's in the middle of the rap beef world where they kill their enemies and they sort of let you know they did it. I think the most classic example, they're doing exactly what you described with that ceremony, but on a massive scale where everybody kind of partakes in the ceremony. Like the most classic example would probably be Chief Keef in 2012. He's part of the Black Disciples, okay? And they were having a beef with the Gangster Disciples, right? And this one particular young man named Little Jojo, he taunted Little Reese on camera saying, hey, I'm going to, do this or that. After he taunted Little Reese, who was part of Chief Keef's crew, Little Jojo ends up dead. And then what Chief Keef does is he essentially brags about it, says, LMAO, that little guy wanted to be just like us, and kind of lets everybody know that he participated in the murder. With Quando got his ass kicked by King Von in Atlanta, Georgia. And then his friend, little Tim, shot at King Von, killed him. Fast forward, dude, this is nuts, but it gets crazy. Fast forward to, I think, 2022, Quando Rondo is in LA, and his, whoever was in the car with him got shot and killed. Little Dirk is taunting him. You know what I mean? It's all the same taunts and tribal warfare, where part of the ritual is they want to let everybody know that they took their enemy down. Um, like Little Dirk, for example, when those guys, what I mentioned earlier, and I'm studying this as an anthropologist, after those guys took out FBG Duck, he'll say something like, I get high as Duck, in clear reference to the murder of one of his rivals. So what happens, just like that ceremony, is these guys people will get killed, and they'll insinuate as part of their art form, which is pretty fucking entertaining, that them or their friends had something to do with it. It's almost like it's instinct for them to do this sort of very short-term thinking style of warfare with the Timucua. I wonder if the Timucua, did they live long?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, warfare aside,
Yeah.
they lived like 300 years, we're
Mhm.
told. They had, an interesting diet. They fasted. They didn't eat anything when the sun was down, so they ate nothing. Some of them would drink nothing. But yeah. I also want to let's connect this here to there's a little bit more to this than just the rap and the rapping and the music. There's a culture here that's includes the gang violence, but something else. And we're not pointing too many fingers here or anything. We're not placing any blame. We're just pointing out similarities.
Yeah.
The Timucua were known for being a child sacrifice tribe. They performed sacrifice of the firstborn child. Now, did you know that certain black populations, New York, for example, they actually abort more black children than are born year to year? And in
I heard the
Florida
the statistics on that are insane. It's like in the millions, right?
in certain parts of Florida,
Yeah.
it's probably comparable to that. Now we're not placing any blame here, but we've got to point out that blacks have abortions at a ridiculously high rate compared to others. It's some would even say it's promoted by the music. It's promoted by some of the lifestyle, choices, like welfare pays, black women to have single kids when they're single, but if they have a father, no money. So you either have to divorce someone and take their money, or stay single on purpose and have as many kids as you can, and then the government pays you. Now, we're not generalizing to everyone here, but we all know it. We all see it. It's to deny it or not bring it up is childish or just emotional. And this is also a big link to the Timucua and native Floridians, especially the ones who listen to black, rap music. Well, Timucua did child sacrifice, and what is abortion if not a form of child sacrifice? You may not be the one being ritualistically benefited, but you're sacrificing a child, and someone else is benefiting from it. That life energy, that life force energy goes somewhere, and it's not for good. Trust me. They're not saving any souls in these Planned Parenthood clinics. But I want to bring something up. If you had to guess, Aldog,
Yeah.
in which tribal territory in Florida do you think the first abortion clinic popped up?
I'm gonna first guess is Miami-Dade County.
Well, what if I told you it was actually Gainesville, which was well within Timucua territory?
Whoa.
So the first abortion clinic in Florida was in Gainesville. The clinic had blue shag carpets, which for many women at the time gave them comfort, as it showed the abortion would not be a bloody affair, requiring tiled, easy-to-clean floors. Ugh. But just another link there between the Timucua and gangster rap culture of Florida, North Florida. Yeah. And you could argue that this is being waged against them by another people, but hey, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for what you engage in, whether you got duped or not. That's the way it works. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an amazing parallel, dude. I wasn't aware of. That's crazy. Um, you know, and I would think that hip hop, as it's currently being promoted in the airwaves, is promoting a sort of irresponsible lifestyle. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, all these just ludicrous slobs, okay? Just promoting an absurd lifestyle in the ears of our young people. Completely unacceptable at this point. You just gotta kind of laugh your way out of it. But it's interesting you brought sacrifice up because that's a huge topic within the hip hop world. I have
mhm.
in my book, I have a full list of all the rapper deaths that occurred between like 2016 and 2022. It's insane. It's off the charts. Um, and a lot of people think that these sacrifices might be somewhat similar. If you were to visualize an Aztec pyramid, right? And there's a sacrifice ritual taking place, and all those eyes, all those ears are centered on the events, whether it be cutting somebody's heads off or something like that. One could argue that sacrifice rituals within the hip hop world are taking place on a massive scale, where everybody with their iPhones, everybody on their computers can watch their favorite rapper get killed, as what happened with King Von. I've seen him die like 40 times. You know what I'm saying? FBG Duck, as I mentioned earlier, I've seen that guy die like 20 times. That was a sacrifice ritual on a massive scale. One could argue that. What do you think about that?
100%. You hear Kanye saying stuff like they sacrificed my mom. YNW Melly, YNW. He sacrificed his friends. It seemed like he got his two
Yeah.
friends tattooed on his face
Yes.
before
Yes.
he killed them. I mean,
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. YNW Melly, real name Jamel Demons. This is his actual name.
wow.
Yeah, right. Gifford, Florida. And if you don't think this, like, I gotta say real quick, the spiritual realm is certainly entered in this conversation because a lot of these guys within the drill community, they call themselves demons. They say they're on demon time, and I believe them. Anyways, so Jamel Demons, him and Jose Ricardo Onfroy, aka XXX Tentacion, share in common the fact that they both had the Baker Act, which is unique to Florida. They both had the Baker Act when they were very young, which means
Wow.
you're basically institutionalized for being a mental case.
Yeah.
Okay. YNW Melly, his two friends are tattooed on his face, being YNW Sack Chaser, who he killed, allegedly. He's on trial again. And I think YNW Bortland, and I think the other guy of the group is YNW, I want to say Juvie or Bortland. I might be getting those two confused. Anyways, so he always talked about the fact that he had split personalities. He talked about this in interviews. YNW Melly was the nice guy, but occasionally Melvin, which was his other personality, would come out if you pissed off Melly. So what happened allegedly was he was in the car with two of his group members who he did tattoo on his own head, and he talked about this with his interview with Adam Grand Mason, aka Adam 22. That's his actual name. His actual name is Adam Grand Mason. Adam 22. He's like this big podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is they're in the car, they're in the SUV after a recording session. There could have been something going on between YNW Melly's mom and YNW Sag Chaser.
Oof.
And anyways,
It's
he
rough.
ends up killing 2 of the guys.
Oh, whoa, dude.
Yep.
Big Timucua connection.
Okay.
Just put a bookmark in that, but keep going. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So he ends up killing 2 of his friends. It gets crazier. And this is where the mass ritual argument enters the picture. Because prior to killing 2 of his friends, his big smash hit is called Murder on My Mind. Okay. And in this music video that anybody can look up, he's over the dead body of one of his friends. He's all sad. There's blood all over him, all sorts of symbolism. There's chickens swinging, dead chickens who are often sacrificed, especially in this area. Um, that happens prior to him killing 2 of his friends, allegedly. So he was on trial. And what happened currently, he could be the first rapper to get the death penalty, according to Florida's death penalty law. And it's not looking good for YNW Melly because there's a lot of incriminating evidence that I've heard about. Apparently there's a video of him saying, "Yeah, I did that." Just total mental case, right? And yeah, from there, he's currently on retrial, and he could totally be the first rapper to get the death penalty. So yeah.
Damn. So his crime happened in Florida.
Yes.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he basically, kind of the thread there is he's telegraphing what he's doing, or the execs are, where someone is making the decision to telegraph what's going to happen before it happens. Maybe the demons are even just manifesting that themselves,
Big time.
weaving the gematria together in the news and stuff like that, even if it's not a conscious play by an exec. But damn.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat is familiar with the work of Jerry Marzinski was a guy who worked at a mental hospital, and a lot of the people that were in this hospital would tell Jerry about the voices. And the thing that Jerry has done a lot of research on is a lot of the voices that talk to these mental patients are the same, and they will tell them the same things. Like these voices will tell these meth addicts that, hey, there's drugs over there, or hey, you should rob that person. And what happens is there's so many accounts of these guys talking about the same voices, but the voices are oftentimes correct. Like if they tell one of these schizophrenics to do something, it'll often lead them to what they were looking for. Whether, hey, the voices will tell them, hey, there's drugs in a park, and what will happen is the schizo will obey these voices, and they will find those drugs in the park, and or rob this person. This person has $40, and they'll be right. So when I think about that with the hip hop world, I do see dark spirits manifesting themselves with something like that. Because you could take the angle like, oh, it's all orchestrated by I don't think so. I don't think anything like that is orchestrated by anything other than dark spirits. And it's so anybody who's into the
Okay.
realm of research, it's so in your face with the hip hop world. It's insane. You know what I mean? So
I'm with you, but what if because does a rapper, how about this?
yeah.
Rappers don't need executives today. They have the I'm gonna make a maybe controversial takeaway here, but rappers don't need executives anymore. They have the laptops. They have I make all my videos from my
I agree.
laptop.
I totally agree with
I
you.
don't need a studio. Don't need any of this. So number one, are they actually dealing with a dirtier, less predictable magic than maybe some of those Zionist execs were putting into like the '80s rap music, and even rock and roll has satanic stuff in it. But what if it's like worse? It's way worse because they're just like shoveling dark demon magic into their music today,
Yeah.
where maybe decades ago it was done a little bit more tastefully, a little bit, a little spritz of demon magic in, an album. Whereas today it seems like every song is just a trove
Yeah.
of demonic dark magic.
Dude,
Is that
you
a
bring up
result of?
you bring up a really good point because I have a friend, he was trying to be a rapper, and he purposefully put a bunch of Illuminati symbolism in his video because he thought it was cool. Had no clue what he was doing, what energy he was playing with. So I see your angle a little bit.
Hmm. I mean, oh, here's a good. Let's go over to. I'd love to get some more of this lore that you know on some of these guys too. Like,
Yep.
let's go to Kodak. We already talked about him a little bit, but this is Kodak. He's the one who looks most like the Timucua, like we already said in this picture, especially.
Mhm.
But basically, he has been photographed. I think he's actually part Jewish. He's he's got a weird name, and I think he's part Jewish, or he might just be like, a black Israelite. But he's definitely has like some Jewish culture in him because basically he was photographed when he was first blowing up, like around 2015, maybe. He was photographed with the Book of the Law. He had different Aleister Crowley books with him, and then he had shit, what's it called?
The Zohar.
He had, oh, it might have been the Zohar. It might
Yeah.
have been in the Kabbalion, which is not that crazy or anything, but he was definitely, he was almost like, was he reading it? I don't know how much he reads, but he was leaving it out in the backgrounds for his videos. And I always used to like watch YouTube videos when people were pausing his videos and saying, "Oh, this is the book that's in the back of that picture where he's in the hotel bathroom." And why is he in a hotel bathroom and he's got the Book of the Law by Aleister Crowley on the counter? So 100%. Maybe they don't know any of the stuff; they're just trying to shovel it into their music,
Mm-hmm.
or it's
Well,
it's not rocket science. Evil is
right.
really, if you're doing evil, they'll work with you.
Yeah, I think some of these things could come off as a sacrifice ritual where it could be something simplistic as a guy overdoses. Like Lil Peep could have just
Yeah,
overdosed. Mac
yeah.
Miller could have just
Well,
overdosed.
yeah,
You
another
know?
thing is demons use people and use people and use people, and those people will thrive so long as they're profitable to the demon. And then as
Mhm,
soon as they're no longer profitable, the demon will just discard the human, and
mhm.
the career evaporates. That's where you see. And I should say, I don't think Kodak Black's evil. I love Kodak Black. I think he's particularly good-hearted when it comes to like these, rappers. He's not
Yeah.
really he's not a gangbanger either, as far as I know,
Well, I know why you love him
because he
because
loves
him and
Trump.
Trump are boys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Trump
he's
bailed out all the Florida rappers, dude. It was like Kodak, Lil Wayne, and I think the other one was ASAP. He's a New York guy, but
yeah,
you know, I think there was definitely a Florida connection with Wayne and Kodak.
yeah. So Kodak has an overt connection to like occult literature and stuff. He's been photographed with it before.
You know why
you
that
know
is? Because
why?
he's trying to be like X. He's trying to be like
Yeah,
Jacek
but
Homo Onfroy.
I don't know though. Wasn't he like biggest around like 2015, 16, like way before X? I feel like he came up.
Yeah,
Kodak.
he came up before X, but I think that he tries to maybe like read. I'm not sure if Kodak can read, to be honest with you. Um,
Yeah.
but Jase, if you want to talk about a Crowleyite rapper, even to this day, if you go to XXXTentacion's Twitter handle, every 5 tweets are Crowley. So that is an example of somebody. Everybody knows that dude. If you recognize his face, he's got like a bunch of mugshots. I know like his whole life story, but in terms of like diving into potentially some dark magic in Florida rappers, you know,
Hmm.
and somebody who was into the occult, it was definitely and sacrifice potentially was sacrificed or few people have like Ski Mask the Slump God was X's best friend. He accused X of trying to sacrifice him at one point.
Him,
X,
like
yeah,
X
X
sacrificed him
accused.
himself.
There you go. because I think the dark magic reversed on him, unfortunately. That's my personal opinion. And X was always accusing Drake of trying to sacrifice him. So
This is
that's the dude, yeah.
yeah. He
So when I
always used to
go,
hang out in Boca Raton in Palm Beach County, Florida. He was always in Palm Beach County, Florida. He's from
dude,
Broward County, I believe.
yeah.
But as soon as he got money, he spent all his time in Boca Raton, Florida.
What does that mean culturally for those of us who aren't that familiar? It's like that's more the
Well,
Ballin area.
it's the richest,
Okay.
one of the richest cities in America. It's Palm Beach is more like on the world stage. Boca Raton is like behind the curtain. It's a retreat rather than like a outpost, and it's one of the most Jewish cities in America,
Hmm.
probably the world. But I grew up in Boca Raton, and it's super wealthy. And he would hang out. He'd go to my friend's smoke shop and be in there like days in a row sometimes. And
I feel like he would love the bookstore,
oh yeah,
big time.
nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So X, what happened with him is he was he got in a lot of trouble growing up. But his parents are from Jamaica. His mom and him went over to Plantation, Florida. His mom's name is Cleopatra, which is
well,
rather epic, right? And his dad stayed in Jamaica, and from there he got in a lot of trouble. He would steal TVs and do little hood rat things. Um, he sort of blew up, in my opinion, when he first went on the No Jumper podcast. Him, Ski Mask, some other guys are there, and he's telling stories about how, he beat up a guy in jail, this, that, and the other. He goes into detail. He beat up this gay dude in jail, and he talks about that and how he got out of jail and how he had to make it. He was just spazzing out all the time, basically. And he's got some okay songs. But yeah, he has my respect for dissing Drake. He'll always have my respect for that. And he was part of that 2018 SoundCloud sort of wave that was all Florida, between him, Little Pump, I think Space Ghost Perp is another one. Um, but yeah, that kid is crazy, man. That kid really dove into some dark stuff because he was living around some really dark things. Like he lived with this dude who was a porn star, and a lot of sex, drugs, rock and roll going on in that house. And then from there, he was really super into the occult. And ultimately, I think he dove into some dark energy. And according to his mom, he knew the day he was going to die. He bought candles that day. And what ended up happening with him is he went out to buy some motorcycle. These goons followed him and robbed him and shot him. And uh, there's a thousand different theories on that event, but I think ultimately he was traveling by himself and just showing too much cash, and some low level people saw an opportunity, and they ended up in jail forever. So
damn, and also wasn't he on probation or like some type of restrictive like release or something? Yeah, that's why he didn't have a gun with him
he
and
was
why he was by
always,
himself. He wasn't allowed to
yeah,
have like gangbangers with him.
yeah. I mean, he was always into some shit. And as far as specific charges, I know he had a domestic issue with a girlfriend. That's where it gets really, really grim as well. He went back and forth with her. But one of his famous quotes, we were talking about the demonic realm. Somebody asked him, he would do these Instagram lives, right? He was kind of an innovator of that. But somebody asked him in an Instagram live, they're like, "Hey, are you a demon?" And he replies, "No, but I have demonic energy." And he was rather upfront about that. And he was kind of woke on certain topics. He knew all about the New World Order and things of that nature. But if you were like a 12-year-old kid on, or like a 15, 14-year-old, and you were on Instagram Live, you probably thought he was the smartest dude ever. He had a real grip on his fan base where they thought he was like their savior essentially. But
He's also an Aquarius, I believe.
big
And
time
he
Aquarius,
he
yeah.
was a total new age. Number one, Aquariuses are like they're the punk rock. They're also very like glam. So like punk rock was forged by Aquariuses, like Johnny Rotten.
Yeah.
Super defiant, super anti-authority, super punky, mischievous. Also awkward. The word awkward comes from Aquarius, like we've discussed. Loners too, and Aquariuses have this next gen futuristic vibe to them, and he had that. And he was very much like ahead of the rap game with the like emo stuff and the metal stuff and the funk music. And yeah, he was ahead of the curve, futuristic. Also seemed like a bit of a humanitarian, like Aquarius is. I remember when he died, I was valeting cars, and one of the dudes who valeted, it was we were right on the border of Boca. Boca is why I brought up Boca before. He's from Broward County,
Mhm.
and
Plantation
Broward is,
Florida, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
he's
that
from
might
Broward.
be Dade, but it's Broward. Plantation, um, Coral Springs, Coconut Creek, Deerfield, Lighthouse Point, Pompano. Those are all Broward. Palm Beach County sits right on top of that, and Palm Beach County is all very, very white, ritzy, Jewish, lots of money, private schools, gated communities. Broward County is a little bit more like the hood. There's a lot more hoodish parts of Broward County. In Boca, growing up in Boca, there's relentless Broward County jokes like, "Hey, eat all the carrots on your plate," because there's kids in Broward who've never seen a seen a full meal. Like it was very much they'd get dogged on by Palm Beachers. So whatever. When he made money, he'd go right up to Boca Raton, the first city in Palm Beach County that's right up against Broward County. So he would always be around our neighborhood. And where I working a valet at a country club, running and getting cars, was Boca Point, right on the uh, border of Boca and Broward. So I could see from where I was working the cars going in and out of Boca or from Broward and vice versa. And one of the kids I was working with went to school with him, of course, like it's that neighborhood. And he knew him. And when he got the news, he was like hurt,
Yeah.
like in real time, like he knew him,
Yeah.
pretty well from high school. So you've also got Flo Rida is in Boca. Not
Yep.
at all a drill rapper. He's kind of like
Yeah, he's a
he's
lot
like a
different from
Disney
X.
he's like a Disney rapper.
Dude, it's crazy. Like we listen to these playlists at work and like it'll be like the 2014 hits, the 2018 hits. Flow
Flo
Rida is on
Rida.
every list, and Pitbull is on every year. Pitbull's
Fuck
got a
yeah.
hit every year, like a pop hit, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
this guy,
Flo Rida. Any lore on him?
absolutely none. I've never dove into his past.
So many people don't know. I didn't know for years until I saw it on like the side of his car or like his license plate. He always used to be at the Boca Raton um, movies. Always used to be at the movies, and endlessly. He'd go to the movies every single weekend, Friday or Saturday, and have his big Rolls Royce, black and red Rolls Royce, parked right outside, right up front. The valet would always save him a big spot. And he would walk in like a king, and we'd always be there. Like 2008, he was literally the king of Florida. And he would walk in, and people would like, it was like the Jonas Brothers or like Justin Bieber. Like he was so big to like people that weren't, ghetto or
Yeah.
like rap listeners, just from like a pop. He was all over pop radio. and he lived in Boca, and he'd always come in. But people don't know his name is Florida,
Yeah.
Florida. I mean, damn, he got
Yeah.
lucky with that one.
I
Got in
make the
there
joke.
early.
I make the joke that I only listen to classic composers, Flo Rida, Pitbull,
Yeah.
T-Pain,
Oh yeah.
just classical music, you know?
Oh, what I'd give for that to be on the radio. That's what every generation isn't that funny? Like we're like the old grandparents now.
Well, the thing
Our
is,
rap music was less garbage than modern rap music.
I'd have to say, yeah, I'd agree with that. But somebody like Pitbull has a hit from 2004 to 2024. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just at least one hit. And you know, rap has
That's
definitely changed. I think it's sort of at an apex, especially with all this stuff coming out with guys like Diddy and people just saying, yeah, openly it's a CIA op. Like it's kind of hard to have the same enthusiasm that people once did. Um, I'm not as enthusiastic as about the music, but I love to study this bullshit as an anthropologist. Um, yeah, what sign is he? Is it Capricorn, right? Total Capricorn.
Capricorn. Yep.
I'm just gonna grab a
Him,
soda. One sec.
for sure. Him and Lil Jon are both Capricorns. And people say Capricorn party, you know. How do those go hand in hand? Capricorns don't like to party. They're professional. But then when you review the evidence, what do we have here with Pitbull and Lil Jon? They're literally the professional party team. They are professional partiers. People party, but he specifically, Pitbull, dresses up like a Capricorn with his, tailored suits and business getup. Total professional partier, professional DJ. And Lil Jon, also very Capricornian. You could say they're the goats of what they do. No one has ever done like DJ rap like Pitbull did. That was a uniquely like 2005 to 2000,
Mr. 305.
15 thing. I was just saying, Al Dog, no one's ever done like DJ rap
I
like
love his first
Pitbull.
hit, Kulo. Do you remember Kulo?
No.
Oh my god, you know Kulo. Dude, he was
Oh, I
like
know
God when he
Kulo,
came out.
baby. I know
He's like
Kulo.
I can't even replicate it. This is gonna be embarrassing. I'm just gonna go for it. Kulo.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I think I know that
banger.
one.
Absolute
Yeah,
banger.
they're all good.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Ooh na na na. He chants like he like quadruple tracks himself too. So there's like four of him talking as if there's like one of him.
That's
It's just
funny.
like he's as loud as the music. Whenever he's on a song, like
Yeah.
he's as loud as the music. But I love Pitbull. When he came out on that podcast and came
Yeah.
out as like a based like Trumper, like anti-communist,
Mhm.
I don't even know if he's a Trump guy. He's just anti-communist. He's like, hey, I'm actually Cuban. They're actually communism is actually terrible and it's not cool. And he came out against it, so I'm down with that.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? He represents we gotta bring up an awesome Florida rapper after him, but he represents the Cuban Florida conservative. The
Yeah,
Cuban population of Florida votes for the right at a very, very high percentage and,
yeah,
in comparison to other groups.
totally. I went on a date with a girl that was in a Pitbull music video one time.
Yep.
Facts.
Well, I've done similar. One girl I dated, she dated she ended up in a Lil Uzi Vert video.
Oof.
If you say Lil Uzi Vert fast, Lil Uzi Vert, it's Lucifer, right? Um, but yeah, she's been in a bunch. But you know who I is one of my favorite Florida rappers?
Who?
Do you remember Stitches?
Oh yeah.
I love selling
Pay up, pay up,
blow. I
pay
love
up, pay up, pay up.
classic, absolute classic. Like
Totally.
he was just destined to go viral with his face tats and his mohawk
Yeah,
and screaming.
he was 10 times more famous in Florida, by the way.
So, what was it like being in Florida when Stitches is roaming about?
Dude, we felt it. Like there was definitely daily updates on like Stitch's movements. Like if he went to the Boca Raton Mall, everyone knew it.
Can we
Rappers
pull him up for
always,
the viewers?
yeah. I'm trying to pull something else up. Yeah, you brought up Lil UC Vert, so I
Yeah.
have a good little thing that I want to. Shut the fuck up, Lance.
Or is that a dog or something?
It's my cat.
Oh, is it?
Fucking making too much noise. Okay, so Harry, just keep talking. Kill some time.
All right. While
Fill the
Longo's
space.
getting the cat situation going here, I'll pull up some interesting statistics. We talked about Chicago and we talked about Jacksonville. Chicago, 8% unsolved murder rate.
What?
So it's bizarre, like observing this culture from afar, where these guys are rapping about this death and this death, this gang and that gang, and this rival killing. 80% unsolved. So whatever they
Holy
do,
shit.
yeah, dude, Jacksonville, Florida, 70% unsolved.
What?
Yeah. So these guys, it's like this weird unspoken thing with those two particular cities where you can just get away with whatever you want. It's like they kind of just let them do their thing. And they're not going to solve the murder if you guys handle your business, because it's crazy like to publicly, talk about murder of your rivals in a music video is just it's crazy. So those are the two statistics I pulled up on those particular areas of drill rap, which is quite pervasive nowadays. So,
Dude, how motivating would that be if you're a criminal
yeah,
and you know there's only a 20% chance of them ever getting you or even finding your name out?
yes,
I mean, hey.
right, and that's why I think Jacksonville has a little under 200 murders a year, something like that, and I think Chicago's is annually in the 500s, and that's why somebody like King Von apparently killed like 10 people at least, right?
Really?
And yeah, and after he died, the Chicago police came out and said, like, yeah, he probably did this one, he probably did that one, he probably did
King
this one.
Vaughn is dead?
What's up? King
King
Von's
Vaughn
dead,
is
yeah.
dead? Okay.
Yeah, he's
Sorry,
dead.
I literally don't know.
Yeah. In the book, dude, this is nuts. And a lot of these names might sound familiar to you, but I basically listed all the big ones that occurred because when I was still a rap fan in like 2017, 2018, but every
Yeah.
time I was at work, I would pull up my freaking phone and it was like another rapper that died. The last big one, which I think was potentially a ritual, was Takeoff down in Texas of the Migos. That was the last
Ooh,
really big one.
damn. Yeah.
Okay, here I have a little list. Lil Peep was November 2017. XXX Tentacion, June 2018. Mac Miller, September 2018. Nipsey Hussle, March 2019. Juice World, December 2019. Pop Smoke, February 2020. FBG Duck, August 2020. King Von, November 2020. MO3, November 2020. DMX, April 2021. Little Loaded, May 21. Young Dolph, November 2021. Draco the Ruler, December 2021. Lil Keed, May 2022. Trouble, June 2022. FBG Cash, June 2022. P&B Rock, September 2022. And then Takeoff, November 2022. It's a lot of death for a career path, right?
Yeah.
So, Jerry Garcia, who is lame, said rap isn't music. Said rap isn't music because your skills at it do not transfer over to any other aspect of music. I mean, a lot of these rappers have no musical talent at all. Like Puff Daddy, isn't good at anything
No,
besides dancing a little bit,
I
you know?
can't. I can't even name a single P Diddy song.
Everything
Can't name
he
a
did
single
was
one.
covers, dude. Everything.
I mean,
His
he's a constructed star. You ever heard the theories? Were you on here when we talked about who's that streamer Kai Cenat potentially being his son? You heard about this?
I have not heard that theory.
Oh, the resemblance is uncanny.
Yep. Dude, we talked about, I know you mentioned Eminem on a past stream. This is where it gets crazy with some of these predictive programming rap videos
Yeah,
that happen on a mass scale. With Eminem in 2008, his video for Like Toy Soldiers, his best friend Proof is shot and killed in the music video. Guess what happened after? His friend Proof got shot and killed. And
goddamn.
yeah, so it's like that stuff happens all the time. Another good example would be Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's big smash hit, Lollipop, right? You know, if you watch the music video, there's a guy named Static Major who's in the music video, and he's, you know, featured in the song. At the end of the music video, it says RIP Static Major because he died after they recorded the music video. Then he dies, and then they release the music video. And it's just like, really? Like, you know what I mean? That's just a little bit much, you know?
Dude, that reminds me. You ever get into the Lil Wayne? Um, s- my homies still
Yes, I am very familiar with that.
is that
Absolutely.
Lil Wayne? My homies still,
Yeah, it is. Lil Wayne and Big Sean.
and then they did it in the weeks leading up to the Aurora shooting
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the Colorado movie theater shooting,
yeah,
and all the imagery in the video ends up like showing up in the shooting narrative with the exact amount of dead people or people shot showing up in a movie theater in the music video where
yes.
Batman is there. A lamb is like being slaughtered. They're like eating at a feast and a lamb is slaughtered, but it's like a human wrapping. And
Yep.
then yes, there's like, 13 skeletons sitting down in a movie theater. And I don't know the specifics, don't remember, but then 13 people die in the shooting in a movie theater. And Batman is in the music video. The numbers from the Batman movie, all the gematria is in the music video. It's like totally conclusive. I don't think Lil Wayne, knows any of this shit. I think he's just like rapping and the execs are just like weaving insane demonic magic like into the music video, but
Yep.
it's not really any lyrical content that that connects it with the shooting. It's mainly just what's in the video. So
Yeah. Definitely a lot of predictive programming. I mean, basically, from what I recall, is there was skeletons in the movie theater in the music video, and then later the Aurora event where there's a similar number of, you know, alleged people who went away, and it correlates to the music video that was released prior. And there's all that symbolism you mentioned. Yeah, that's crazy. And Little Wayne, right? He's from Crescent City, New Orleans, right?
we got
Little
one of those
Wayne
in Florida, yeah.
Little Wayne is in like waning moon, right? From Crescent City.
Lil
Um,
Louisiana. Yeah.
yeah, but dude,
Oh
he's
wow,
in
waning. That's good.
exactly from Crescent City. That's crazy. Him and Eminem, both Libras, known for lyricism.
Yeah,
Um,
totally. Yes, Libras. The book. They're well read. Libras. Um, and it's also Lyra, where the word lyrics come from. So you're absolutely
Lear Cohen,
right.
for example, he's like a rap kingpin,
Ooh,
big Zionist guy.
really?
Yeah, Lyra Cohen, as he's called. Um, what was I going to say? A huge turning point for me was actually in 2015 when Little Wayne's tour bus was shot at in Georgia. And as it turned out, the guy who shot at Lil Wayne's tour bus was an associate of Young Thug named Jeffrey Lamar. No, that's Young Thug's name. The shooter was named Jimmy Winfrey. And then Jimmy Winfrey, after he shot at Lil Wayne's tour bus, according to court documents, he was in contact with Young Thug and Birdman after the shooting. So it was a situation where Lil Wayne was sort of trying to get away from Birdman and his record label. He was suing him. Wayne was suing Birdman for like 50 million in unpaid royalties, right? Birdman was like taking Young
Sure.
Thug under his wing.
So
And so it
wait,
sort of made sense why they would potentially try to off Wayne. And yeah, that was he looks like a pirate, dude. He looks like a mentally ill pirate at this point. But yeah, fast forward to 2024, young Thug is on trial for RICO conspiracy charges, and it's not looking good for Mr. Young Thug, Jeffrey Lamar Williams rather, and
yeah.
yeah, look at Wayne. I still love Wayne though. Wayne's really funny. He's definitely a funny guy.
Dude, I love Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
I think he has a positive attitude. He's not racist against white people, which is
right.
awesome. He says he doesn't think racism exists. He was shot by one of his either I don't know the story, either him by accident or one of his friends. He was shot when he was a kid, and
Yep.
a white cop saved him. And
Yep.
he said the black people who were standing around didn't do anything. Like they were like, oh, just another shooting, like just another kid shot. And he said this white cop like ran in and grabbed him and like drove him to the hospital and saved his life. And he still, keeps in touch with them. And so to this day, he refuses to accept that there's anything called racism. He's been on the Skip Bayless show a
Yep.
couple times, and they pretty much like corner him to like into talking, dogging white people essentially, and he refuses to do it. So I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't love everything about him, but he's hilarious. He is a lyrical wordsmith. I hate Eminem. People say Eminem is like good with words. He's not. He's not even remotely good with words. He's kind of quick. He does some things quick, and he like reacts to himself like in the songs. Like he like hypes himself up and gets really amped like in that one part of a sentence, and it's all just like an illusion. Eminem is not a literary genius. He was funny. He was a comedian. He's always been a comedian. All his early stuff was hilarious, but Eminem is not a literary genius. His whole thing too was, didn't you say this, Al Dog? Was Eminem's job was getting all like the white trash, like dumpster rock and roll garbage, like trailer park garbage in America, just getting hooked on rap.
I would
Because
say all white people in general, especially in Europe. He was sort of the bridge
yeah,
between he opened the floodgates
yeah,
between
and
just getting white people to listen to rap essentially.
yeah, he was like the Nirvana of rap. Like he brought it to the mainstream a little
Mhm.
bit. Not it was already pretty on the radio mainstream, but he brought it to like billionaires listen to Eminem and think he's like some dose of like uh, literary genius or something. It's far from that.
All right,
He's
want to
not
hear
smart.
something insane that
Yeah,
this is like original and it all ties into Florida? So you will notice that number 17 tattoo on Lil Wayne's face, the left
yeah.
up cheekbone. YNW Melly also has a 17 tattoo. XXX Tentacion also has a 17 tattoo. Lil Pump has a 17 tattoo. So those
Wow.
are all Florida rappers with 17 tattooed on them.
What does it
And
mean? Like Lock 17 or
I feel like it could be some sort of marking, some sort of like potentially a slave marking.
17 equals the letter Q. S. Lee is saying.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Lord Devi? Good to see you.
Yeah. He looks rather Timucuan as well.
Totally. He came up in Florida, we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And then also you were bringing up Birdman. I don't know. I don't think I have a picture of Birdman, but this is Plies, who's, in similar circles. Plies, he the one that talked like this, man. You thought Mike Tyson was bad? Man, you should hear Plies talk, man. Hell yeah. he blew up on like Vine too, talking about like eating fruit off like naked black chicks and stuff, and like, yeah, I love when bitches do a little kegel, yeah, squeeze your little pussy muscles, yeah. I swear to God, people who know what he did will know that's exactly on the money.
Yeah.
But he would go on Vine and Instagram and post these videos that were like make you so uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch him. Plies he had that one hit with Neo, the Bust It Baby song. That's a classic. But you know
yeah,
who's my favorite? Three
yeah,
favorite Florida rappers. Ready?
hit me.
This is tough. This is tough because they're all awesome. Riff Raff.
Okay, here, let me pull up. Boom. Riff Raff.
Total
He's,
Aquarian, right? Like,
yeah, he's an Aquarius. He moved to Florida. He's from Texas, I think.
mm-hmm. Number 2, Fred Durst.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby. Florida royalty right here.
Yep.
He's
Jacksonville's very
a
own.
ascended Moorish science. He's a master of.
The one, the only. Chad. One hit wonder. Vanilla Ice.
My boy.
That's that's an Astro Chad right there.
Yeah. Astro Chad, for sure. Yep, these are the 3 actually good Florida rappers. All the other ones are pretty negligible. And yeah. This is your real Florida elite rapping team right here. is Vanilla Ice, who is a Lake Worth resident. He's from my town that I live in now. He's where the bookstore is, Lake Worth, Florida. And he's getting some work done in Lake Worth, Florida. He's got like a building he's opening up, like a sports bar type thing. But yeah, him, Fred Durst, Jacksonville area, and then Riff Raff. He moved to Florida, like we said, but now he lives in Palm Beach County too. He's out west in like Loxahatchee area. He had almost like a farm type thing. Like everyone gets like an acre of land out there. The
Wow.
houses are pretty spread out. So it's cheap. You live in Palm Beach County, but you're out west, like in the Everglades. He lives over there. He's not in like the ritzy area. He's out in like the trailer park mansion type communities. And
So how far are they from the beach?
he's like a half hour from the beach, probably.
Okay. That's
But
fucking sick though. If you are a half hour from the beach, you have land and you're only a half
yeah,
hour away.
yeah, he's over towards like Lake Okeechobee almost. He's at the beach pretty much. Lake Worth Beach. We're a 5-10 minute walk from the beach, where our bookstore is. And yeah. Now some other white boy rappers from Florida we got to mention, also into the occult, heavily into the occult. Puya on the right, and then on the left is a total not good, like just terrible rapper, super bad, super cringe, like one of the most cringe rappers to have ever wrapped, and just a stain on the white race in general is Ghost Man on the left there.
Huh.
Super faux, like spirituality, super thinking he's like black magic, thinking he's like into the occult, thinking he's like some master mason truther, but not at all really. These two guys, yeah, if you've never heard about them, doesn't really matter. But the guy on the left is from Lake Worth, so he would perform shows right across from the bookstore where the bookstore is today. The guy on the right, he's more towards Miami, but Lake Worth, Ghost Man on the left there. I think he played football for the high school right down the street too. Went to Lake Worth High School. Ghost Man. Puya's a little bit better. He's kind of cooler, but also just go get a fucking job, losers. Like, come on.
Yeah, you got to snap out of hip hop hypnosis at some point. Because they're all wearing nail polish nowadays, which is kind of tough. Like I get it if you're gonna be a punk
Yeah,
rocker, but if you're trying to if everybody's doing it, it's like, yo, this is getting a little bit crazy, you know?
yeah, 100%.
And it's like everybody talks about the private prison angle with hip hop music, but a lot of people don't talk about the obvious pharmaceutical angle and the opiates that are pushed through this music. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally. And like certain clothing brands. I mean, people don't even bat an eye. It's like, oh, people will say, oh, I'm watching TV, and then a commercial comes on for Balenciaga or Tom Ford, or you're like, oh, turn it off. Like, oh, I just want to get back to my MTV, and then the MTV comes on, and it's like Tom Ford.
Yeah.
The whole song on Tom Ford, whole song on Balenciaga, whole song on Gucci, whole song on. You never sit through an ad. You could never sit through an ad for one of those. But you'll listen to endless minutes of rap glorifying these brands. It's so clear as day. So yeah, the pharmaceuticals, 100%. But even the clothing brands, it's like, I swear, Tom Ford just sent Jay-Z like $1 million, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna make a Tom Ford song, and the song is literally just them saying Tom Ford over and over again. Or
Yeah.
you could say the same thing about every brand. They have a song like that where it's just some doofus, like, idiot just repeating the name of a brand over and over, or a drug. Same thing.
Great example. Future's big smash hit. The chorus is a flute, like it's the Pied Piper or something. Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, mask on, mask off. That's the
Yeah.
whole song. It's Molly Percocet. And it's like, you know, and like a lot of people like Little Peep, but I had an issue with him because he was just glorifying fucking prescription drug use and all these different pharmaceuticals. And it's like, dude, this has come a long way. And I would credit Eminem again for bringing that even into the conversation where he would talk about all these different drugs that he would abuse. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I read a book. It's called
He was
Shady
also
Business.
Eminem was super like homoerotic too. Like he loved milking that as much as he could. He loved
He
making people think he was gay. He
Yeah,
might
I also
probably
think
is.
I agree with you that he was replaced. I think the original Eminem from the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP and the guy we see today, either it's a guy who metaphysically changed and is not the same guy after all that trauma and all that drug abuse, or it's quite literally a different guy.
I think
You know
it's a
what I
different
mean?
guy.
Yeah.
No other artist is more in your face with I'm a different person. Like how many of me are there? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? And he has other songs that are just as indicate the same thing. Like
Mhm.
there's a identity crisis here, or there's an actual cloning, like, you know, actor double. He died. He didn't want to play ball or whatever. He was too fucked up on drugs. They needed someone more uh, predictable or whatever. But he was gone for like 5, almost like 10 years. It almost seemed like he was gone, didn't have anything. And then he came out, he's like, I'm sober now. That's my thing. Like, and he just had started, all the comedy was gone. Like, no more comedy. And it's just like, conquer the world. Like, don't doubt yourself, man. Like, just very empty. Like when he did the whole Trump thing, like pacing around
Oh
the
my God, dude.
parking garage.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not. Are you
Dude.
fucking kidding me, buddy? Like, what the you know what I'm saying, dude? And, what was I gonna say? The 5 years of, like, disappearance was he got fat at one point as well. That was after Proof died. So either that had a massive impact on him, or he learned some things he didn't wanna learn about, and that really changed him. Um, the best book on Eminem is written by a former bodyguard. It's called Shady Business, and I'll never forget this about Eminem. Eminem is the type of guy to have millions of dollars in the bank, but he's still like getting in an argument with his uncle in a yard. Like he's that type of guy. Like he's just kind of like he can't help the fact that he's just like a scummy guy. You know what I mean?
Petty. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, also he played himself in a movie, which is mega sus. Like he also was like a pretty good actor, which makes me think like they replaced him with someone who was just an actor, and they're like, or they were like putting the movie together, and then they kind of started realizing like, it'd be really easy to just replace him, or like replace him with the actor that we like are having him double scenes with or something. But
yeah. Or a lookalike showed up and was better, and they just like, all right, buddy, end of the line.
I mean, yeah, we said it. We did a show a couple days ago or something where the original Eminem was like pudgy.
Mhm.
He had like a stubby nose and very like pink features, like rosy, like pink, white, blonde, blue-eyed, and yeah, just like kind of pudgy too. His face like was roundish. He had a rounder face. Then you have this like 2008, 2007, like 8 Mile dude. Eminem, the new Eminem, was chiseled, completely chiseled. His like his jawline is like super angular. Everything about his face is very angular and tight. And he almost looks Asian,
Yeah.
and he's got like gray hair. I haven't seen him blonde since. Slim Shady is. I don't think I've seen him like blonde since like 2009 or something. I could be wrong, but it seems like ever since then his like new look is like a gray buzz cut, like super short buzz cut, taped up, and yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like the guy from Prison
Prison Break. Yeah, he does.
Prison Break. He looks like the guy from Prison Break now. Before he looked like I don't know how to describe it. He's just like a chubby blonde guy before, not like fat, but like pudgy in the face. Now the face is just so different. It's like Dave Chappelle. Like someone can change. People say like, "Oh, plastic surgery." Never heard of plastic surgery long ago. It's like, no, I know what plastic surgery looks like. I grew up in Boca Raton. I've seen more plastic surgery than on men, especially than anywhere else on the
Wow.
planet, probably.
Dude, I have a
And
theory on that. You wanna hear
what?
my theory on plastic surgery?
What?
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I have this fucked up theory, like Tom Brady got plastic surgery, all these Megan Fox plastic surgery.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
You think Donald Trump? Sorry, fuck. I'm brain dead.
Tom had a
You
little
think
work done.
Tom Brady got
Yeah.
plastic surgery
Yeah, he had a little
af-
work done. He had like a
after
facelift
he
or
left
something.
after he left the NFL?
Yeah. It was in
So you're
between
saying
like
after he left the NFL?
no, it was like his like last year, prior to his last year, he had a little work done. Like
Okay,
you can
but you
see it. Like
you also
he's
now if
yeah,
Eminem went like hardcore vegan,
yeah.
that might make sense. Tom Brady did go hardcore vegan. Like he has a couple cheat meals here and there, but he's also like practices what he preaches. To me, I
Right.
look to the lips, I look to the eyes, and Tom Brady doesn't strike me yet. I'm with you that he looks like feminized, like he's very feminized recently. But the whole chiseled jaw, like yeah, he had like a meat eater's face before, like kind of just like a bar goer, like beer drinker, hamburger eater face for like his first 5 years, 10 years of his career. Then he went hardcore, like a health nut, avocado ice cream and stuff. No, he is kind of a freak, like in terms of diet, and eating that way will change your face. And he probably does yoga and all this shit. So he did enact like radical lifestyle changes, and that could explain shift in the face. But since he's been out of the NFL, who knows? I don't know. You might be right. But
Yeah.
I'll always go to bat for the vegans making a great shift in
Mhm.
their the way they look, health. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I just have this weird theory that like we see a lot of plastic surgery with famous people, a lot of people in Boca Raton, but I think the thing they share in common is I think they look at their own image too much and it makes them go crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's my theory on plastic surgery. Somebody like Megan Fox, like she was a smoke show. Like why would she, feel the need to do that? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think they just spend too much time looking at themselves. Does that theory make sense? What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think she might have also been like, I hate to say it, people don't like it, but um, Jennifer's body, there's a little bit there with her being perhaps a hermaphrodite or a trans, people say. Now, it would be tough because she's really thin, like she's not obviously masculine, but there's a community out there who are as convinced with her as they are Serena Williams.
Serena. Big old Serenus.
She's my favorite Florida rapper.
Well, she's got a big NFL draft coming up in the late April, so she's got to get ready for that.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else in our notes? Florida rappers, man. Timucua, the ancient descendants.
Let's just go through some list of all these guys. Who's
Okay.
this?
I don't know
Who's
this
this?
guy. I don't know.
Yo, chat, who's this? You said this is the Coco guy, the cocaine guy.
Oh no, that was OT Cyrus. This guy I don't know.
Osiris. Yeah, Osiris. YK Osiris? Something like that?
Or OT
YK.
Genesis or something. I
YK
do not know this
Osiris.
guy. I
Yeah.
thought he was
No,
somebody
that's
else.
him. It's YK Osiris. Whatever. YK. You know. This is YK Osiris. I couldn't even name a song, honestly. Lil Pump. These are all Florida rappers, guys.
Yeah.
Lil Pump, Donald Trump supporter. Shelly, Lil Pump. I'd love to have Lil Pump on sometime or do something with him about some Florida
Dude,
Florida
the
hidden
one
history.
guest that I think you should have out of all these guys is definitely Riff Raff. And I think he'd
Yeah,
be down.
I think he
Like,
would be down.
if he does Theo Vaughn's
He's a
podcast, you should
vegan.
do yours.
He's
You
a
know?
vegan. Riff Raff.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he called himself the plant-based baller for a time period.
yeah. Total Aquarian. Like, it does not get more Aquarius than Riff Raff. He's so whimsical. He's so like androgynous. He's so like Fruity Pebble, like next gen anime girl, all wrapped up into one. He's like I don't know. He has like that gas station soda cup aesthetic, that '90s gas station soda cup aesthetic, like
90s NASCAR racer.
the digital, whatever.
What I love about Riff Raff, he makes it fun. Everything he
Yeah,
does is fun.
yeah, love him. Here's a big one that knocked my socks off, guys. I had no clue. This just goes to show that Florida rappers do it better. Bobby Shmurda is from where? Or where do you famous for rapping? New York?
He moved to Brooklyn eventually. Yeah, New
Yeah.
York.
So New York, but he's from Florida. So what are the odds that someone moves to an established like turf and then, excels above the people there? Whatever. He's from Florida. So most people don't know that. People think he's a New Yorker or from somewhere else, but he's a Floridian, born there at least. And this guy I did not know was from Florida. What's
from
this guy's
Louisiana.
name? Oh, he's
That's
from
NBA
Louisiana.
Young Boy, and he's from Louisiana. He could be fucking Timucuan because it's the same look, in my opinion, as that statue.
Hmm.
And it's a very similar sort of background where there's all these murders in his past, and there's all this criminal history and what have you.
NBA Denhead. They call him.
This is another guy who I really doubt can read above a third grade level.
That's okay.
Yeah, if we're being honest, like him, Kodak, and I really doubt they're that good at reading. I just don't see it. I could be wrong though. I'm open to be proven wrong.
You know what my grandpa always used to tell us growing up?
What?
Readers are leaders.
Love it.
Yeah. And then there's a phonetic thing there with the right and left, R and L. Regal, legal. Royal, loyal. Reader, leader.
Love it.
Yeah. Um, Hello Rider, we talked about him. My man. My
Dude,
beep.
how much do you think Flo Rida charges for a bar mitzvah party? I bet it's a lot.
Dude, he's crushing bar mitzvahs left and right.
Dude, he
He's
doesn't need to go outside Florida. He could just do the bar mitzvah
yeah.
scene. He would
Dude,
crush.
he was him, Pitbull,
Yep.
Flow Rida. They were the bar mitzvah scene. 2005, 2015.
Yeah.
In between there, they were the bar mitzvah scene. The bar mitzvah bros. Like the mandatory, obligatory bar mitzvah music was Lil Jon, Pitbull, Flo Rida, and then Kesha was the other one. Those are like they worked with the DJs. Like it's like DJ rap,
Dude, I gotta say, I'm a huge Kesha fan. Kesha's got
Sure.
hits.
Oh, 100%. Wake up in the morning. She knew, dude. She was a red pillar, dude. She's a white hat MK Ultra insert. She
Confirmed.
wake up in the morning feeling like P Diddy. And when she says that,
Yeah.
you know, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. When we
Well,
leave for the
dude,
night, we know we're not coming back. And then when she says the thing about P Diddy, I think it's like a POV,
yeah.
what you would see if you were peeing on her. Like she's under a shower and she's getting showered on, like as she says, "Wake up in the morning, feeling like P Diddy."
Dude, you know what's crazy though? We
What?
were talking about a little predictive programming potentially. She's got that song, "We're gonna die young." Na, na,
Oh
na.
yeah.
And then there was a certain event at a Florida place of education. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then after that,
Well.
XXX Tentacion does a little dedication to that alleged event that may have happened at a place of education. You
Yeah.
know? So, music industry, man, it
So
tunes the populace quite a bit.
catch me outside. How about that, girl? Daniel Bergoli is from Park Vista, I think.
Yeah.
That's the school she went to, Boynton Beach High School, somewhere around here. She grew up around me. Boynton Beach High School. or Park Vista High School. But she's from Boynton. She's a rapper, I guess.
Legend.
And you know what? No, she is a rapper. She's literally just as good. People, everyone needs to hear this. Okay? So my brothers and sisters out in the crowd, as much as I respect, the lifestyle, this person, Daniel Bergoli, Bad Baby, is literally just as good as any rapper that there's ever been. She's just as gifted, just as lyrically talented.
Yeah.
She is a rapper, no matter how much you don't like it. So,
She's
and
got
you
one
say,
song I like for
you can
sure.
say, oh, but Dr. Phil boosted her career. Okay, and if you're a rapper, you kill someone and that boosts your career. You have a court case and you go on Adam 22 and that boosts your career. Like, what's the difference between going on Dr. Phil as a 14-year-old and going on Adam 22 as a 24-year-old,
Mhm.
right? There's a common thread there. Like, whatever. How many rap artists are there actually out there who are just like literary geniuses who like got themselves out of the ghetto without ever holding a gun or stuff. I was just talking about Wiz Khalifa today. I fucking love Wiz Khalifa. Like I don't
I've seen 2 Wiz Khalifa concerts, man, because he was becoming big when I was in high school. So me and my friends, that was like our guy. Um, so I've been to a few Wiz shows. One was free in Boston, another one was at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Both times Yellow Wolf opened for him. Yellow Wolf is the most talented live performer I've ever seen in rap. He raps wicked fast, enunciates every word, incredible. Unfortunately, like Yellow Wolf, and you want to talk about style, that guy has style. But my criticism of Wiz Khalifa is I don't feel like he's advanced as an artist in like 15 years. I mean, it's like
yeah,
the same formula, you
you're
know what I
right.
mean?
You're right, but at the same time, what can you write about when you're a rapper when you don't shoot guns or drink or smoke blunts? He literally can only talk about smoking weed and fucking hot chicks and making money. So you're right, but that's the price of having a moral code in the rap game. Is like, yeah, you're not gonna have shit to talk about. And Wiz Khalifa strictly smokes weed, does not do any drugs, or maybe does some shrooms or something. But I think he had a relative die, or he's got like something like that. I don't know, but he takes his health pretty seriously in some regard, and doesn't drink. I don't think. Doesn't smoke tobacco. I don't think. Definitely doesn't fuck around with guns and gangbang. And he's kind of like a positive guy. All his songs are in like major keys too, which is something you notice about him. His beats are almost always like uplifting and not like drill, not like bottom chakra, prostate rupturing, like up in your base. Pretty much, it's pretty much he's just not on that wavelength. So I understand. Like he's not
Longo, what do
cool.
you think about J. Cole? The chat wants to know your opinion of
Oh,
Jermaine
dude.
Cole.
J. Cole, I'm about to tee off on that ugly doofus. he he looks like number one, he's like a castaway idiot on an island by himself. That's what he looks like. I mean, why does he look so homeless all the time? I have no clue. But
Mhm.
hey, someone could probably say the same thing about me. So, as far as his lyrical content, again, he's just like one of these people that thinks they're like 4 million IQ, but is actually like 20 IQ. J. Cole's raps, I've never really analyzed them. Uh, Empty to me, I haven't seen anything haven't heard anything that's revolutionary. He's just like, oh, I'm more positive than everyone. He's like, oh, I'm so thoughtful. He's like, oh, I'm so just effeminate, I think. Just like a overly introspective, like, loser,
Yeah.
I think. I don't like
We
any of
got
his
a
stuff.
super chat from Robert.
Oh, okay.
Did you see it? ROBT.
Robert, hey, from Arkansas, Longo. Can I reach you at the bookstore? Got some questions. By the way, yes, all rappers except Upchurch are total pole polishers. Yeah, Ryan Upchurch. I'm staying on a farm with my buddy Jeff. My buddy Jeff loves Ryan Upchurch, so I'm listening to a lot of Ryan Upchurch. He's like the white country rapper, like the original
Yeah.
white country rapper. Um,
Pretty cool. So in
you know,
closing, do you
yeah.
want to give us, and maybe I'll do mine, top 5 rappers ever? Dr. Narco Longo. Who is yours?
Okay. Damn. Shit, I should have prepared that. Top five is so hard because everyone's gonna get triggered. Like, nah, this was the best. And like I said, I genuinely believe Daniel Bergoli, this chick right here, Bad Baby, is way more of a lyrical genius than Kendrick Lamar. Okay, like to me, they're the same playing field. So I don't, you might not want to ask me who I think the top are, but I'd say I really like. Um, Shit, I need to think about it a little.
Want me to do mine? I know Suicide Boys is in
Yeah,
your
go.
top
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like Suicide Boys as much as any white, like like rich white kid would like Suicide Boys, of course. But I don't think they're top of anything. I think they're very
Okay.
good at what they do, but I don't think highly of the whole scene. So it's easy to dominate in like a industry of doofuses. Same, you could say the same thing about me in like the Tartaria, like old world space. I know what that's like. But Suicide Boys, I like. I do listen to them a lot. It's a guilty pleasure. It definitely makes me laugh. They're like very emo and funny, but take themselves pretty seriously too. Um, hmm.
Riff Raff's got to be in your top 5.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. I love Riff Raff. Um, I'd have to look at my Spotify, I guess.
All right. I'll do my top 5 real quick.
Hit us with them, with
All right,
yours.
man. I got to put old Eminem in there at 5. Old. Nothing past the year 2001. That's a long time ago. But nothing past 2001. I'll put him at 5 just because how much I've listened to him as a young person. 4, we're going with Chief Keef. Love Chief Keef. He's hilarious.
Nice.
Number 3, we're going with Riff Raff. Love Riff Raff. Number 2, I'm going to actually switch things up from our prior countdown. Number 2, Vanilla Ice. Number 1, Fred Durst, the greatest MC to ever grace the mic. So that's mine.
Nice.
Yours could be like a to be continued.
No, I thought about it a little bit. Okay, number one, it's kind of cliche or cringe, but Andre 3000. I take back what I said. He's literally the only lyrical genius or lyrically gifted rapper, in my opinion. So, well, he meets all the criteria for me. You could say, yes, this guy's good at that, this guy's good at that, but then what's the message? So, to me, Andre 3000 has the right message. I think I hate Erica Badu. Erica Badu, I can't stand her. I think they were together. I think that's who Miss Jackson's about. But don't agree with him on everything, but I like Andre 3000 and his positive attitude because it's not overly cringe like that J. Cole, Macklemore, like
Oh my God,
positive.
Macklemore was the worst. Holy shit.
J.
That
Cole
guy
and
was
Macklemore are like
awful.
the same guy to me. Like
Wow.
positive, like thoughtful, like, man, think about what we're doing, man. Like the streets are gonna change, man. Like just too like in their own head. Like J. Cole's just makes me gag. Um Andre 3000, Outcast. I love Outcast. I love listening to Outcast. So, and to me, when I listen to Outcast, it's like all Andre 3000. Like I'm not listening to Big Boy, right? That's the other guy's name.
Yep.
Big Boy. Like when Big Boy's parts come on, I'm like, come on, all right, like whatever. But Andre 3000's verses are next level. He's a poet, and he uses about as much like genius as you can in a rap song, I think, without being, he doesn't try to be the fastest or like the showiest, He's humble in his own way, believe it or not, but he's also very like peacocky, which I like, you know. Um so Andre 3000, 100%. He's someone that I'd want to meet and like talk to, and.
I bet he'd be cool to talk to. Down to
Yeah.
earth.
And then I think Old Dirty Bastard is
Okay.
someone who, I like. It's more like a comedy thing. Like he makes me laugh too, unintentionally, probably. But Suicide Boys, Andre 3000. It's so cringe to like try and say which rappers you like, but let me look. I got my list here.
The whole genre is kind of cringe nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Death Grips is kind of cringe, but I
Yep.
like a couple Death Grips songs a lot. So Death Grips is pretty cool. I think there's stuff you can do with rap, It's not a dead end musically. I'll say that. Musically, it's not a dead end. It can be worked into every type of music. It's only been done in such cringe, try hard ways, like cultural, like making like white and black, like coming together, like fuck that. Like it can be done in a cool way in different types of music. We're seeing that with like music and emo. The whole emo rap thing was very interesting because it's like like you and I, or people in between our age, grew up on like butt rock, like late 90s, early 2000s. Like hard rock was still on the radio, And like Linkin Park and stuff was just as big as like Miley Cyrus is today. That ended in like 2005. Like no more like rock on the radio.
Right.
And rap is like reimagining that today. Like all the emo, like punk, alternative music is getting reworked into like rap music right now. So that's kind of where you get your Suicide Boys and Lil Peep. So I like Lil Peep too. You can put Lil Peep on there,
Mm-hmm.
and then Lil Wayne. It would have to be Lil Wayne, Lil Peep, Andre 3000, and the Suicide Boys. I guess that's 5.
Nice.
But yeah.
Other than that, man, I would say people should sign up for the Old World Florida Patreon. I'm a member at $5 a month. At some
Nice.
point you should feel some sort of guilt and shame for not being a part of that Patreon. I'm happy to be a part of it. Check out my book. It's funny as fuck. The Sharter, A Millennial Journey Out of Hip Hop Hypnosis. It's all fictional characters, all these interwoven plots. People love it. If you like my work here on Astro Chads, check out the book. You'll love it and you'll laugh. And that's it. That's the only sell I got. Longo, do you got anything else for us tonight? Any other ideas?
No, that's it. Go buy the Sharter, guys. If you like supporting us, go get the Sharter. Sign up to the Patreon, whatever. Only good reviews on this, guys. The Sharter. I mean, everyone has really, really good things to say. It's available at the bookstore too. If you pop into Palm Beach County, come see us at the bookstore. We've got a couple copies there. So, shall ya?
All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Longo, always a pleasure speaking with you. I'm looking forward to what other content you got on this channel. Definitely my favorite YouTube channel, and always fun hanging out here. So, there's plenty of hip hop gravy if you dive into some of these.
Oh, we got one new Patreon member.
Let's go.
Live
Let's
sign
go.
up, baby.
Let's go, man.
Nice.
Because, dude, some of your research, I
Live
just
sign
hope
up.
that you're backing it up. You know what I'm saying? On some sort of file or
Nope.
Patreon, whatever the case may be, because some of the research you've done with your documentaries is very important. It's helped a lot of people connect a lot of dots. And I'm happy to contribute on things like Astro Chads and whatever the case may be. But yeah, sign up for the Patreon, check out the Sharter. God bless you all. Let's have a great fucking year. That's all I got. What else? Is there anything else you got? I don't know.
No, that's it.
All right.
Well said. Thanks for joining us, L Dog.
All
Thanks
right,
for
guys.
putting a bow on it. Everyone have a good night. Peace.
Take care, everybody. See ya. Salute.